Alright, this is a VOD review for Nidalee game for Death Blind. First mistake here is starting Raptors on Nidalee. You are doing a full clear, or you're playing full clear into full clear. Kayn full clears 90% of the time with how fast he clears. So starting Raptors causes you to lose a lot of health and you smite early. Going to red buff is fine, and if you're doing this type of clear though, after you're done with red buff, you need to be going straight to Krugs. What you do is you go to blue buff, which means that you will not get level 3 off of your clear. As well as you're already down smite, you're down potions, I'm assuming. Yeah, you're down potions already. So it's just a weak clear overall. So it takes you 4 camps to get level 3, so that alone is just inefficient. You go take Scuttle, that's fine. After Scuttle should be looking mid, or once you see Kayn top, you see that he has not... he only has like 20 CS, I believe is what it was, so you know that he has camps up somewhere. May as well check his Krugs. Going for this gank mid is fine. Spear missing is kind of tragic because she was already slowed, but it's okay. Right here, you know that Kayn has Dark Harvest, so he's going Shadow Assassin. So what you did here was, like, while it does end up in you getting an outplay kill, which is fine, that's good. You're trading in ranged form, so the entire time that he's just getting like free hits off on you here, he's getting orbs to transform. Kayn is useless until he transforms. As far as like, he's a good early game champion, like, but in order to be like useful going into mid game, he has to have his form, and the earlier you give that to him, the worse off you are. So you give him a Dark Harvest stack right there, some poke, more damage. You get the outplay, which is good. You get some free gold for that. But honestly, in my opinion, it would have just been better to farm. Don't try to trade with them, and then you just go about your day. Are you doing Raptors? That's fine. Bring up the scoreboard so we can look at what you're doing. Item-wise, you go Lost Chapter here. So, judging from your final build, you go Ludens here. I personally don't think Ludens is a good Nidalee item right now. It's probably not the worst in the world, but it's not the greatest. Night Harvester is easily the hands down the best item. The amount of burst you get from it, as well as you can buy Alternator early. So you'll have enough for Alternator here. And maybe another component. That's way more damage than Lost Chapter. Lost Chapter is a strict laning item. You don't need that in the jungle. You're looking for a gank here for some reason. So you have 3 camps up. You actually don't know about that one because Kayn took that. But you do have your Wolves, your Gromp up, which would possibly ding you to 6. It would be really close. And then you can look for something. You always want to try to be efficient about clearing. When you're playing champions like Nidalee, or any farming heavy jungler, the only time you want to gank as Nidalee is if you know it's like free, because a lot of times in order to get a successful gank you have to land the spear, which is incredibly difficult, and even the best of players can't do it. Now, like, if you have like a Renekton or someone with a built-in stun that guarantees a spear landing, then you can like level 3 clear into a gank, but most of the time you're better off just farming it up, getting your items, and scaling. So going for this gank here is kind of meh. You're wasting time. You could have easily had Wolves done and Gromp like halfway done, if not already finished. But instead you go to Dragon, which is a response, I'm assuming, the fact that Kayn's top. Getting Dragon is fine and all, but you would be better off just looking for camps. It's first Dragon, and you need to snowball your lead. You need to abuse the fact that he's going to push top. He just got a kill, and most likely he's going to go into your jungle after this because now he knows where you're at. If he doesn't know where you're, because if you don't do Dragon here, he has no clue. He knows that you're on your bot side because the way you walked out of mid, but you could have been walking towards top side, so he would have to leave. He has no health. Realistically, it's like if you found him, and you had cleared all your camps, you'd be level 6 too, so you'd be able to fight him here. Um, so it's just better off to you go to his. What you do is you take his Krugs first, and then you go to his red, seeing that's going to be spawning soon. So just more emphasis on farming your neutral camps unless you can guarantee a gank, because, like I said, unless you have guaranteed ways to land a spear, it's very difficult to actually pull off a proper gank, unless they're just way too far forward. Why'd you skip wolves? Okay, you just skipped a camp there. You skipped wolves. I don't know if it's because you saw Kayn go into your top side. Just leave it. Your mid laner is already chunked and backing. Your top laner has no priority, or is trying to attempt to freeze into a crash. And honestly, you should be playing around that. So what you should do here is like be looking around the map. Look at this gigantic minion wave. You clear accordingly, and then that way when it's time to crash it, you just provide assistance so that you can look for a counter gank. That's a really easy counter gank to go for in top lane. So you stop his back, you see him. Tragic thing that you do here is you don't like just keep it in the bush to like see, because you'll be able to see Kayn. You do drag it over to the right, which is fine. I tend to do that as well. But if you already know Kayn's there, then you need to stand in this bush or keep this bush warded. I don't know if you have warded, because I know you warded at like super early level 1, but did you swap out your trinket? Okay, no, you should have. You have ward here. You have a ward here, so there's no excuse not to ward this bush. You die. Your laners, to be fair, didn't. The Fiora responded well. The Echo did not. So it's like you're not completely to blame there, but losing the buff is blamable on your part. I don't even know if that's a word, but we'll use it. All right. So at this point, you go back into your bot side. Clear the wolves. Always do this efficiently. Your blue buff takes 5 minutes to respawn, unless you need this blue to go to like then go somewhere. Like you need blue for mana to go bot, or you need red buff or clear efficiently as Nidalee. There has not been a single time you have yet to take a Krub camp this entire game because Kayn took them. But in this sense, it's like, let's say Gromp is up. You should always clear, like, if you plan on going to your top side after this, you clear Gromp wolves into top side. So that way, by the time you back and come back around, Gromp is spawning. While you're killing Gromp, wolves are spawning. It's efficient, and you get the most golden experience out of it. So by skipping wolves here, this is a 5-minute cooldown to like a minute cooldown or whatever it is. I can't remember off the top of my head right now. So you're taking an extra like 25 seconds or whatever it is to kill that, and then that's less time that it's giving for these to spawn. Okay, and this is close to the last point I have. You have Krugs up. You have Raptors spawning. You honestly don't know where Kayn's at either. So doing Rift Herald here is not the best decision. You're not terribly far behind to the point where you need to just like put gold on somebody and hope to God that they can carry. You're in a like okay state. Like Fiora will beat the Malphite eventually. If I'm not mistaken, your bot lane's doing just fine. So really all you should be doing is focusing on farming, getting yourself ahead. Because you started around 20. Rift Herald takes way too long to do, and this entire time you can just be clearing both your camps and then maybe looking for Rift Herald. So just too much emphasis on North. So it took you about 30 seconds to clear it, get out. And honestly, where are you going? If you were to look at the map, where are you going to drop that? Ideally, what you could do right now is because you are here, you see top lane's pretty low. Drop it top, get a crash, and be there for Fiora. You clear your Krugs. But yeah, I mean, honestly, that's about it. As far as like what you could have just done better is like, for a champion like Nidalee, it's not so much about focusing on the mechanical aspects. Like you can work on your own mechanics That's fine. That's just an individual thing. But as far as like what you could have done better this game just to put yourself ahead, Kane is level 9. So let's see how much CS he has. He's got about 82 CS, so he's up about almost a full clear ahead of you, close to it. You're level 7. You just have inefficient items. The cloth armor is fine. I don't mind the cloth armor. But the Lost Chapter, you're just losing out on damage by not going alternator. He is out ganking and out farming. If you just played more efficiently, clearing camps, doing a full clear early by starting blue with your bot lane, going blue, Gromp, Wolves get you level 3. You take E level 3 to heal as the rest of your clear. And then you can base around you can either base or look for ganking opportunities by the time you clear up to your top side. So really that's the biggest flaw, as well as your neutral objectives, prioritizing neutral objectives. It's better off to farm if there's more gold for you to take. You typically do neutral objectives this early in the game if there's nothing else for you to do. It's just inefficient for a farming champion like Nidalee.